Enough from me. We're gonna have the games do our talking. Let's go!
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything.
Enough from me. We're gonna have the games do our talking.
And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
I think it's time we try something new.
I'm so gone, no I'm never turning back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad. Cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong. You will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate I attack.
So everything that we are doing with our content, with our
And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
I'm bossy. I don't take no shit. I smoke my stuff anywhere I want. I don't have to find a hideout place like you. I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything.
Enough from me. We're gonna have the games do our talking.
I think it's time we tried something new.
And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math. When I hate, I attack.
You're my number one customer.
I think it's time we tried something new.
When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm
End of the line.
What's up, grinders? Special Sunday show. What is up, everybody? Shout out to everybody coming on in. It's a special Sunday show. I know everybody's busy on Sunday, but man, oh man, I had a gaming experience of a lifetime last night, and I need to talk about it. That's what I need to do. I need to tell those quality flutes, and I got to be talking some greatness, because I experienced the most incredible gaming session in a long time, actually, long time. And I need to talk about it because I'm done. Then I hear some podcasts, you know, the ones that kind of have a little stench, a little greenness to, and I'm like, well, excuse me. We need to solve something here. Heard some words, one and done. I see, and I'm like, I got to grind some gears. Because no. That is not going to happen after what I just did in gaming right now. So come on in, grinders. We got to talk about some Horizon. Let me preface this. This will not be spoilers. I will not spoil. Maybe there may be some mentioning, a slight. If you really don't want to hear anything, then yeah, but I'm not going to talk about bosses and details of stuff. I might reference some things that if you played it, you know, or if you've seen some screenshots, you might know what I'm referencing, but I'm not going to spoil it. And actually, that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about in here with everybody here. Let me shout out to the people coming on in. Just Wait, Brian East, Carol, how you doing? Ice Cream Gaming, Jason the King, Dave Rock, Compost Smurf, how you doing? Zuby! What's up, Zoobs? Hey, Zoobs, if you have some inside news, I want to spoil, but I'll open up the Grindhouse Discord if you want to jump on. But let me know how you feel, because I know you had some predictions there, and I know our show is usually late, so if there's opportunity here, talk to you definitely. I could open up the Grindhouse. Just let me know if you want to, and I'll let you on in, Zuby. Brian East, outside of gaming night, how do you do? T. Harris, what's up? Twisted Sync. Yeah, boy. Will 7777, my favorite number. There it is. Neil, how you doing, Ryan? Wild Wolf with the trumpets. He knew what's coming in. He knew what's coming on in. Buck Rogers. Phil spreading those cheeks. Yeah, man, he's getting ready. He's going to spread those cheeks. Oh, man, Neil says, told his family don't bother him during the showcase. Dude, yeah, I know, man. We got that coming. That's why I want to talk about this now, because I feel like, definitely tomorrow night, who knows what starts happening on Twitter tomorrow with, leaks or anything. We might have some other things to talk about, but I want to talk about this while it's fresh in my memory. Jason the King, how you doing, man? Hit that like button, grinders. Share it out. I know that the grinders, there's not, oh, wow. Jeez, look at all that. Man, you guys saw the signal. Holy crap. Well, just about over 80 people, man, on an impromptu show. Oh, my goodness. I'm honored. Plus Ultra, what's up? Neon Blue, how you doing? Liquid Data. Oh, yeah, let me shout out to the VIPs that came on from the last show. Swizz437 USG's become a member. Fake Outrage, Liquid Data, The Unknown, and Veja has become a member. That was 4 days ago, but The Unknown just came. So I'm going to be adding you guys to the Herman Hulse Quality Grinds board, but I want to shout out to the new VIPs, and thank you for those who gifted the VIPs as well. But share us out, because not a lot of people know that I'm live today because I wanted to definitely do this show, and I really wanted to focus on what I've been doing with the gaming wise. What's up, Peter Parker? How you doing? Ghostface, how you doing? So yeah, without further ado, actually the first thing I wanted to talk about, right, is I want to just say, and this is what I want to say to just, I guess, everybody here in the chat, people on Twitter, I feel like there is a professional, maybe that's the wrong word, but there's a respect of quality, incredible storytelling, and just like I feel that we, and mostly I see this with a lot of PlayStation games, especially games that have very intense stories like the God of War, like the Horizon. And I know I could probably go find spoilers if I wanted to, but I think there's some sort of professional game of respect when it comes to greatness that I feel that people don't go out of their way to spoil stuff because they want others to experience this. What's up, Richard Farmer? Because I'm on Twitter all the time, right? And I'm on podcasts and all that other stuff. And I feel that nobody's going on there just like saying, hey, here's everything that this is absolutely incredible, and spoiling it for everybody. But instead, there's a lot of references and just like, yo, you got to check this out. And that's kind of what this is going to be, because I'm going to keep that same level that I see, because, I'm surprised that things like this haven't just blown up being like, this is absolutely incredible. And just story tropes and turns. And same thing with God of War, where there was that twist in God of War that really, I didn't see people like talking about it. And I just feel that, when there's a great movie or there's a great thing, like there's just a level of respect that you don't want to spoil because you had such a great experience with it that you want somebody else to have that as well. And that's, oh man, liquid data, not liquid data. Thank you. That's super chat, but thank you. It's Liquidator, but I spelled it liquid data. Okay, got you. Liquidator. Now I know, man. You probably don't want to be called liquid data.
You're my number one customer.
Thanks for that, man. Oh, man, that's funny. Liquidator. The Liquidator. Night lights out. It's Christmas tree. No problem, Zuby. Feel better, man. You got a busy week anyway. You need to drink that orange juice. Get ready, man. Zuby, there's a busy week. You got to rest up. No problem, man. 30 frames per second spoil on Starfield. Phil Ness Liquid. But, yeah, so I just feel like, that's one thing because this game, okay. Let's get into the Horizon stuff, right? And again, I'm not going to spoil this. So I beat Forbidden West, right? I beat Forbidden West probably, I forget, before the holidays or something like that. I beat it. And I just finished the DLC last night. But I've been playing. I've been grinding at it. I've been going back because ever since you guys trolled me on my my stream of the Forbidden West, how underpowered I was, I went back and did all the side missions that I skipped. And that's where it started. Like, I'm like, are you kidding me? These side missions. And so first off, this game, right? Horizon Forbidden West, I feel, got totally I think people just, like, it's so incredible that people want to they just like, hey, you know what? It looks incredible, but we don't need to comment on that. I don't know how to put it, but I just feel like people just like, oh yeah, it's a great looking game. Okay, move on. Oh, let me tell you about Elden Ring and the story and the elements of Elden Ring. It's like, well, wait a second. Why are we so quick to jump onto Elden Ring and not appreciate what this game is doing as a sequel to the first game, which was okay. It looked incredible. The gameplay was okay. The story was, it was interesting, but there was a lot of elements missing. The open world it was incredible, but there was definitely a lot lacking in the first one. This second one took it to the next level. And that was not really celebrated or recognized. That they took in side missions and made them like full campaign missions with characters, side characters, and boss battles and levels to the side missions It's not some dude that's standing there going, collect some berries, man. I need 10 berries before I tell you, before I give you a skill point. These side missions, you thought you were doing one thing, and it led into escalation and doing more and more and fighting big battles and bosses and doing stuff, and it unlocked weapons and things like that. Weapons that I never even had in the first run of the game. I'm like, holy crap, look at all these weapons. I have a huge arsenal of stuff. Like, I only just said I got the bow and I got the, the slingshot stuff. And I got some spears. But man, I had the Tron discs. I got some crazy ass precision bows. I had the friggin' gun. I had the chain guns and all those different weapons. And then on top of that, there's different specialties to use with the triple arrows, the volley, and everything had, like, it was so much to do on the fly. And I can't believe how amazing those side missions were. And they weren't just like get skill points. Like, you got weapons. You got other things with those. And story elements as well. So that was one thing that they fixed with this game, right? The second thing is that they really blew up the story from the first one. And the story elements really added, because after the first one, you knew kind of what was going on. She was finding herself, and she wasn't, I would say, her character wasn't super likable. Like, she was kind of weird. She huffed and puffed and complained a lot in the first game. And Aloy wasn't that character that you're like, oh man, she's so cool, or she's really badass. Like, she was really, I felt she was very just huffy and puffy. She was just like, oh, like, why is this? Oh, I gotta check this. Like, really weird. Like, she really didn't have that, like, she very kind of whiny. And in the second game, she knows what she is. She knows who she is. And she knows what she got to do. And they blew up the story, and they made it bigger. And they also made it more about the other people. Same thing with God of War did this as well. God of War did this as well, where, yes, she did, Josh. She had a chip on her shoulder in the first game because she didn't know who she was. So she found who she was in the first game. In the second one, she knew her purpose. And now they added all the support staff with her and all these tribes and their backstory and the different elements and how they worshipped the ancestors. They didn't get that far. Exactly. I feel like that too. The critics didn't get that far. Same thing with God of War with that spoiled thing. I think they didn't get too far. And the way they told the story and they expanded it, man, it was great. And it ended on an incredible note. And the amount of stuff that goes on in this world and what happens and the side missions and just the exploration, that you could find these nooks and crannies and things like that really just want you to like beg to be explored. And I showed this during my stream. The visuals speak for themselves. But I can't believe in this game how you could zoom in on her eye and on her facial features and even supporting staff, even like all side characters and all that other stuff. And then spread out, and then you could see like this huge world, like pull back and see this incredible world that's here in the detail. I think it's incredible world building. I think it's absolutely stunning. And they blew this up from the first game. The first game looked incredible. The DLC was great. But the fact that they did it even better the second game and fixed a lot of stuff. And one of the biggest things is the traversal with flying and adding it and not making it like this element of like, hey, you got to think fly low. No, you had to earn it, and you got it close to near the end of the game with the flying stuff. Exactly, Compo. She was bitchy in the first one. Like, she wasn't very pleasant in the first one. And the fact that she can now fly and you could tame animals, you could now You could have animals go like you could attack them to make them go rampant, so they attack other animals. You could set up this huge like fight where like different animals are fighting each other. Incredible. The amount of variety and weapon and play style is incredible. Sneak around, stealth them, hack them, manipulate them with traps, lure them into traps. The combat they evolved as well from the first game. All next level. And to think that the first game, that this is a cross-gen. Right? To think that this was a cross-gen game is absolutely astounding. And I feel that the game was completely undermined. It was I feel like it didn't get, and the same thing goes to the award show. And I know
bullshit.
Exactly. I know the awards show where they're like, oh yeah, it didn't win any awards. And I don't need awards to justify greatness. But it is kind of strange how just media and stuff like that just kind of really underappreciated what this game was doing. And I don't understand why. Because you had to love Elden Ring? You had to love something else? I don't get it. Just the visuals alone for a next-gen machine should be enough to take people's breaths away. But then to know how they added those elements that I spoke about to it, the combat, the flying, the storytelling, the immersion, the detail, and not emphasize that, I think is criminal. Agree, John. I agree. The art direction. The environment, the atmosphere. I'm in shock. Because I feel like this game, it won all the BAFTAs. That's right, it did win the BAFTAs, not the Keeleys, that bull. And exactly, while I'm not saying Elden Ring is bad, I'm just saying that I felt that this game really just got overlooked. I felt like it got overlooked. And I'm not complaining about last year's stuff, but I just think in overall, I can't believe how this game is not referenced more. Maybe that's what grinds my gears. I feel like this game doesn't serve as a reference point for other games. Graphical achievability, like the graphical prowess, the storytelling, the exploration. Yeah, and I agree, the melee combat, still that's something they need to work on. They did try to add it. I think that is the one Achilles heel, is the melee stuff. But she's really not a melee character. She's definitely a ranged type thing. It's like trying to ask a mage class to have good melee abilities. But I think the melee is definitely something, maybe more combos, something fleshed out for the third game. And I think they did fix it from the first one. The first one was bad. But I feel like the second one, they definitely evolved the melee combat, but I think that's somewhere where they could work on. And I'm not saying this is a perfect game, but what I'm saying is I'm surprised it's not referenced more in this foolishness of the gaming industry. Yeah, definitely. They need that variety in the melee weapons. The races, oh man, that was awesome too. The photo areas, the combat zones, it had it all. The drones, the scale of the enemies that you're fighting in this were absolutely insane. The scale of the enemies that you were fighting. It was just bigger and just more intense. And I feel that it should be referenced more. Like, just look at this scene here. And you can find this all over the game. Like, this is not Burning Shores. This is just Forbidden West. Just the stuff flowing around and the distance, the draw distances, the details up close and afar, the lighting, the way the sun, the lighting. Look how the lighting just changed right before your eyes. Like, just right here. Like how the lighting, it went from the cloud just came through the sun. Like, just watch how it just evolves. Like, the rain goes away and the sun comes out as I'm standing there. 10 million copies it sold. I agree. So look at the sun comes out after the rain goes by. Like, this is so smooth. I just feel that it should be more of a reference. Like, look what they did. Let's do it. And this is just in the base game. Which, by the way, I think is in plus already, right? They gave it a plus. But I say beat it and get that DLC. Because that took everything that I just said to the next level. That's exactly what it did. It took it to the next level. I'm just standing there and look at this. A reference, a celebration of gaming. Look at where we've come. No, not that. Just and I purposely in the beginning while setting up the stream, but just her standing there and watching the world around tell a story. Look at the density. Look at these trees. These are not pipe cleaner Halo trees. And the map and all the stuff. Like skill trees. Like they added all the different levels of skill trees. They added a bunch of stuff, the Valors and all that other stuff. And this is the base game. This is not even Forbidden West. That takes it then. Burning Shores, which takes it to the next level. I think the villains were pretty damn good in this one. I think the second one had a really good story to it. And I agree. There needs to be like maybe one person. But I think they are really setting this up. And I'm excited for a third one on this. But I just feel that this game really is not referenced more. Comparing to what it's offering and what it does. Like something like this exists now. We playing it. We beat it. This is not no hokey dokey kind of like concept or in-game assets. Oh, dude, that was Ant Methods. I after this stream, I took all the criticism and I said, don't be sorry, be better. That's exactly what I said. I said,
do not be sorry. Be
and I went back and I did the grind and I got all the way up to level 45 or something like that, and then I did the DLC. So this was the stream that everybody criticized me because I went to the DLC at this low level. My level 2 pouches and all that other stuff. But the fact that we're playing this, all of us like playing it, and this can be experienced right now. And then here, this is when I go to the Burning Shores here. To the Burning Shores. Yeah. So, I just feel that the story elements in this game, they're there. It's definitely a little confusing with the tribes and things like that, all the stuff going on, and all the references. And the time that it's actually referencing, right? How they're in the future, but they celebrate us in present day, and all the stuff that we're seeing. It's like a post-apocalyptic world with a whole new life to it. And they did a fantastic job. And now, as we explore the DLC in this thing, $20 for this DLC. And the fact that the DLC is seamless into the game as a separate island that you could just use and go back and forth. It's not this reload or anything like that. It's just there. And the fact that you could bounce it back and forth, it's just another whole area. It's what DLC should be. And again, another point that I'm making here is that how does the DLC not get recognized as this is what we should be seeing in games? I thought those were incredible. 3 Mile. The cauldrons? That was next level puzzles and elements to the story. I'm like, dude, the cauldrons, again, the cauldrons, the side missions. It wasn't go collect berries, man. These were like multi-level missions. The cauldrons were awesome. I was like, wait, is this a campaign? I thought the cauldron was great. What they did. And how is this DLC not referenced as like, guys, this is what we should be getting in gaming. This is what we should be getting. We get a complete, huge game, sequel, bigger, better in every sense of the world. Look at what it looks like in the second game. And now you add DLC to this? That makes it even bigger and better, and only for PS5. And you could see, I'm going to tell you, when you look at the game in the PS5, there are elements, and I'm not talking just about the boss fights, but I'm talking about the lighting, her animations when she's speaking, in the cutscenes. Her face is moving incredibly, like she's making crazy emotions. They're totally different than the rest of the game. Like, they're totally different. They're slower paced, but they're like, and they even have battles too, man. It was crazy. I was like, what? But I love the layering to this. I love how they layered these missions. Like, it wasn't just go to point A, from point A, go to point B. It wasn't like that. It was go to point B, and then within point B, they're going to be like B1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's other things that you got to try to do at B, and maybe it takes you to a C. Not the 3 C's, but it takes you to a C. And then they may have levels like that. And you'll look, and what's crazy, go look at your mission. You'll see the bullet points of all the things that you had to do. Open this door. You had to move this. You got to solve this puzzle. But then, oh no, you think this is where you got to go. The door breaks down. Now you got to try something else. Uh-oh, I hear some enemies in the distance. They might show up. And it's so layered and so much content to this. And the elements of how you could fight differently. You could target a weapon that the enemy can't use and use it against them. You could tear off you could knock them down. You could tie them up. You could freeze them. You could poison them. You could tame them. You could possess them to go attack other elements. So the combat is not just hold the right trigger and shoot. There's a whole lot of strategy that this game introduces. And again, not referenced a lot at all. And I'm not going to hate, and I didn't play Zelda yet, and I'm not going to hate on Zelda, but I'm just going to say, like, Zelda's a referenced game. Oh my God, look at what Zelda's doing. Look at me. Look at what Zelda's doing. You could build things, and that's great on the gameplay. It's a referenced game. How is this forgotten? That's what I scratch my head about. Like, how is this game not referenced? Like, yo, Horizon did this. Like this is what everybody should be doing. And I think it's totally underappreciated, and I don't know why. I don't get it. This is some this is some quality flutes right here. Why is it not referenced? Leading a robot to camp. And I don't want to get on that whole kit and caboodle, but saying, I remember when Phil tried to discredit Horizon the first game about these games don't have the same impact. It's all about PUBGs and service games and all this other stuff. It's never all about one. It's never all about. There needs to be balance. And the fact that Sony's bringing you this, and they may bring a service game. They may bring a multiplayer Aloy or some sort of Fortnite-looking one. It's a multiplayer, but they did offer you this. And I'm just surprised. Even in the world of DLC, half the content for these games Half the content for these kind of games, for games, is stuff that should be there at launch. Their roadmap is fixing the game. Betterment of life improvements. Bugs. Balancing. Features like co-op. Like frames per second. That is content to some other developers and publishers. Oh, we'll fix it later. We'll add co-op later. And your game comes out bare minimum. We're missing stuff, and your roadmap is fixing the goddamn game. In that world, we have a full, complete, fully featured, open world RPG, action, adventure game, whatever you want to call it, in Forbidden West. And then they go, and for $20, we're adding another, 8 hours, 10 hours of content to this game. In only PS5, graphics look even better, facial animations, the stuff that you're going to be doing in here, stuff that we couldn't do in the first one, in the second, the Forbidden West. And there's a whole new storyline. And what's crazy about this roadmap to completion, exactly, Josh, that grinds me up, man. When they launched Halo Infinite, they're like, our roadmap, here it comes. We're going to add co-op. I'm like, wait a second. You're not going to fix this bare-ass campaign? That's not all that stuff that's missing? And a new weapon, exactly. And Horizon music score. That music score at the end, yeah, boy, was incredible. I was definitely feeling that. I was like, wow. Like, that was very... Because the other element to this DLC and how it was implemented was that knowing how the Forbidden West ended, with that knowledge, and don't spoil in the chat, but with knowing what's going to happen, and then doing this huge DLC at the end, and that kind of being a big bearing on her that she has not shared that with anybody. And who she shares that with, and the emotional drain that has. It was really great storytelling to go through this campaign in the DLC, knowing, and this is me showing the detail of the eye and the detail of the environment, but knowing what happened, the way the game ended in Forbidden West, and now carrying on through this with a new tribe and knowing those story elements, it really was something like you and her knew that from the game, but the rest of the world doesn't know. Exactly, Brian. Yeah, it reinforces the threat. Exactly. And knowing that she's walking around with that. That's building character. But it's also the sense of, like, you and the character know, but, like, nobody else does. And what's going to happen when they find out? Who's she going to tell? How's she going to tell it? And we didn't have to wait till Horizon 3 to find out what the impact is going to be and how people are going to take some stuff. There's big budget, man. Yeah, boy, there's a big budget in this. They got actresses and actors. The voice acting is really good on this. And again, the facial capture, I think, in the DLC and in Burning Shores was incredible. It gets a quality sleep. Zabondo, you got to play it, please. If you take anything away from this Sunday show, is go beat Horizon Forbidden West and go play the DLC. There are things that this DLC does, and I'm not just talking about the end. I'm talking about where it takes you. So creative, so unique. The volcano area, the different areas, the underwater exploration, where it goes, even you saw the water wing already. That is absolutely incredible. If you think from flying to the clouds and then going right underwater and seeing a whole other world, because you think this is a lot of detail, go under the water and see all the stuff that's going on there. Oh, you know what, Brian? I did that. I was actually like standing on my water wing, just looking at the horizon cloud render. Watch, I'll definitely show that. Where is it? Let me see if I get a video of this. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Look at these cloud renders, right? And the fact that you could fly all the way in the clouds and then go right underwater in a seamless, no load screen. That's where I'm going. Just wait. I'm going to Iki Island next. All right? Look at this. Look at this. This is like a time lapse of somebody in real life. Like, look at this. Look at the sky rendering. Like, there you go. Like, look. That's what I'm saying, how the DLC made the Forbidden West even better. And how is this not referenced? How is this not a pinnacle? People say, can I play Crisis? You should be like, dude, can I play Horizon? Well, that's if it's on PC. But, like, why is this game not referenced more? And that's what kind of grind my gears. And then hearing, well, I use the PlayStation for one and dones. I turn it on just to play a game and not. Dude, I have over 100 hours in Horizon. And I just talked about the side missions, the other missions. And when I hear that one and done, like, and it's mainly from Xbox guys, where I have to play, because they got to justify why they're an Xbox fan. And it grinds me up because they don't want to just get absorbed into these kind of worlds on PlayStation because they can't spend too much time on the blue side. They can't spend, oh no, I can't really stay here too long because I might want to prefer to play here. No, I got to make sure I just dab in my PlayStation exclusive just for a little bit. And then I go right back to my Xbox and stare and play my multiplats worse over there and wait for games. And that grinds me up because it's like, don't discredit these games because they're a single player. You don't want to get lost in this world. Why? Because you may play too much on PlayStation and somebody's going to catch you? Because I'm going to tell you something. You want to talk about one and done? How about a never was? Like a Redfall. That's not even a one. That's a never was. And tell me what's one and done not about Pentiment? What's one and done about the 5-hour hi-fi rush? What's one and done with Halo's 6-hour trash-ass campaign, empty, no set pieces, no boss fights until the trash-ass end, and cliffhanger stupid ending? That was more one and done to me than any of these Sony games. And then you get a game like Horizon. Oh, and by the way, this was followed up by God of War, which has the same type of structure. Incredible lore in the side missions, tons of content, side characters, things to do in God of War Ragnarok. They followed up the amazing content of this game with God of War. And then I'm hearing Spider-Man 2. Oh, I'm just going to do, that's going to be one and done. And then I'll go back to Xbox for what? For what?
Games, I don't know where they are, but I can sign your back right above your crack. Do you have a pen and spill in the sun? I'm waiting on what's...
For what? Redfall capturing hours of content for what? It's not even like Microsoft's doing multiplayer games. Oh, well, they done with Gears. Like, they killed their multiplayer games. Crackdown 3 multiplayer, they killed it all. It's not even like Microsoft has done anything that's worth staying around for. Do their goddamn peekaboo gaming. What are you going back there for? Get lost in this world. This is what you wanted. When you were going around swinging those 12 teraflops, this is what you thought was going to happen. Right here on this screen right here. When you heard about 12 teraflops, this is what you thought you were going to get. And you're not even close to it. And again, after I finished this DLC last night, I'm just going, you know what? Never. That boss fight that everybody talked about, that boss, there will never, ever be anything on that level on Xbox. There never. No. It'll be a cut scene. It'll be some stuff. Dude, what they did with that Horus fight at the end was, when I say levels to it, they are levels. They are incredible. And that was coming off of what you did before that. And it was another moment of just being incredible. And then, by the way, this runs at 60 frames per second. No pride. Thank you, Impatient, for the update. Xbox is dog shit. I'm driving home. Just want to let everybody know. Exactly. One and done. Xbox whole ecosystem is not even a one and done. It's a never was. You're not even you are a has-been. You never was.
Where's the lamb sauce?
But people do that to pawn off this one, like, oh yeah, they're just Sony. I just got my PlayStation for exclusives. That's right, Doc, the layers. There's different variation. There's different levels to but no, that's true. It's not just his phrase like levels. I'm saying there's different levels to the fights. There's different. You got to do different things. It's not just go in there, kill somebody, and leave, man. It's you're doing various things. It's incredible how they build up the hype to that fight. And 120 frames. Look, this is the tech. When you were swinging around 12 teraflops, you thought you were going to get something like this. Not even. Not even. One and done. Don't disrespect this like that. Because I already think this should be referenced more for what it does. And look at this.
You're my number one customer.
All the stuff that's going on, those frames are locked. Twisted Secret 2, he goes, Xbox level in the ditch. That's right, they're in the ditch. They got the flute. They're playing the poor man's flute. Look at this. Thank you, Twisted Sync. VR, like all the stuff that's going on, man. It's a technical marvel. This game alone. It should be referenced more. It should be acknowledged. I want her to come out like Roman Reigns and just be like, acknowledge me. Sony, this should be a reference. And if one studio's doing this and they follow up on God of War and Last of Us and all this other stuff, and there's also a lot of exploration and things like that. But I feel like this game particularly doesn't get the respect and the referencing that it should. And to think that there are games even higher than this, such as God of War, Last of Us, things like that, Uncharted per se. And this is sitting like a third or fourth. Like, what are we, third or fourth? If this was on Xbox, you wouldn't have seen them on Twitter. I'm going to tell you that, Josh. If a game like this was on Xbox, they would be like, they would smoke their cigarette and retire. One game. If this game was on Xbox, they would sit back with a cigarette and just and retire. Give me a pina colada and a cigarette. They're done. If just this game by itself, and the fact that this was followed up by God of War, it's insane. And to think, after playing this is the beginning. Grinders, hit that like button. This is the beginning of Phase 2. This DLC. What it's doing. This is the beginning. Of what we experienced. Now we're going into Phase 2, and we got a showcase upcoming, and we got Spider-Man 2. And you don't think their studios are pulling tropes for this? Because I think it is a reference point. I think it's a reference for Sony internally. They look at this, and they're trying to compete with each other. They're like, you did this in Horizon? Well, we're going to do this in Spider-Man. We're just getting started. And to experience already what I have already on the PS5, just with this game alone, And I'm not talking about the VR. Ratchet and Clank was another game where I'm just like, and that grinds my gears. People are like, oh, wow. Like, I saw some article that somebody was like, credible PlayStation game getting huge praise for graphics. And I'm like, what's this? I clicked on the stupid article, and they said Ratchet and Clank. And I was like, what are we doing here? Where were you 2 years ago? Oh, it's in the past now? Everybody's talking about it? Ratchet and Clank looked incredible 2 years ago. That should make you even more impressed. That 2 years ago, that game looked like that. And you're celebrating Ratchet and Clank now? See, that's what I mean. Great games never die. Great games don't get forgotten. Halo Infinite got forgotten. Gears 5, forgotten. Crackdown 3, erased. But Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, will be great 2 years from now, as you can see. That was 2 years ago. That game looked like that 2 years ago when you just got your PlayStation. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Incredible play. It's still incredible now. Wow. So it holds up. Where were you 2 years ago? When I was pictures of ray tracing. Microsoft talked ray tracing. They brought out everybody talking about ray tracing. They can't even implement that shit. Ratchet and Clank is incredible. I'm like 2 things away from the platinum, and I know platinum games. But back to Horizon, like, this DLC, incredible. Exactly, Josh. Well, that's why. I knew that. That's why. But I was surprised at the title. I'm like, whoa, what game is this? Like, I'm looking for something new. And I was like, it's a Ratchet and Clank. I'm like, what? But you get lost in this world. Look at the town and all the people, all the stuff going on. Now, are you going to call Final Fantasy 16 a one and done as well? But I really don't want to go there because that's not a first-party game. But still, Sony, that one and done thing needs to die. Because it's not true. Because if you say one and done, that's a you problem. That's you choosing to not get immersed into this. Because as you're playing this, in the back of your mind, in the Xbox skull, you're like, what are they going to say? I'm really enjoying this. What's going to happen? I got to play my games on Xbox. I can't leave that. I have an Xbox channel. I'm a pro Xbox on Twitter. I can't really spend forever in these games. They got to be one and done. I'm just going to finish the campaign and go right back to my Xbox and wait. That's a sickness. That's a foolery. And that's the stuff that I hated myself for in 2015, 2014, when I was believing in Xbox. And I chose not to celebrate this greatness that was on the PlayStation. As I was playing, I thought that. I was like, ooh, I'm really liking this. This is something on Xbox. And guess what happened? I played more and more on PlayStation. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay here. I'm bringing my ecosystem to here. That's what I'm doing. Because not only can I play the games that Xbox has, but I could play these games as well. So I brought myself over to go, why go back there? Now you are the one and done because you haven't had anything to make me stay. And you think Redfall's making people stay on that platform? Phil just said, great games are not going to do shit. Right, Phil? He said it.
I see commentary that if we just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in some dramatic way. We lost the worst generation to lose in the Xbox One generation.
So how, and my question is, if you're not going to build great games like this, and you believe it's not going to shift your console, then I have to ask Phil this, and this is why being on an XCast podcast with Paris and Cap is aligned, the 3 C's in the chat, Well, Phil, if great games are not going to change anything in the console, then what the hell are you doing in gaming? What is going to bring people over? Your good looks? Your ass tattoos? How are you going to bring people to your platform? Screw the console. If you're not going to make great games, then how are you bringing people over? And I bet you he wouldn't have an answer for that. He wouldn't have an answer for them. Because that will be the first thing. This is a gaming podcast. The Xbox executive just said making great games is not going to move the consoles or change anything. We lost last generation. Then my next question from a gaming podcast will be, then what the hell are you going to do then? You already got the cheapest console out there. You already dollar bill Phil services. What are you going to do? Buck Rogers says the answer. He says controllers, coffee, donuts, and nail polish. And Xbox refrigerators. Because that's what I would ask as a gaming podcast. I would be like, okay, Phil, then how are you going to bring people into your ecosystem then? On PC, on mobile, on Samsung TVs, on Boosteroid, on Black Nuts Cloud. How are you going to lure people into your services and features? And if you're not making great games, if you feel like just go make great games, will not fix anything. Are you just going to put your face on the box? Is that what you're going to do? Because I don't understand how a gaming podcast of a bunch of Kappas on there wouldn't react to such a statement made by him.
You're my number one customer.
Our console, that somehow we're going to win the console race, I think doesn't really lay into the reality of most people, like 90% of the people.
And what you said is most people started their library. Most people, Xbox dolls, right? Most people, they're playing Fortnite and Minecraft. Well, guess what? They're everywhere. So that should make great games even more important. His logic is so flawed, and everybody wants to say, but Phil meant this. Phil meant this. No. Phil's logic is that if we make great games, nobody's going to come here because they already have their ecosystems established because most people are playing Fortnite and Minecraft. Well, those are multi-platform games that could be played cross-play. So therefore, they could easily move themselves from a PlayStation. If I just play Fortnite, they could easily move to an Xbox. They could easily move to an Xbox. If I just play Fortnite, I'll just play Fortnite on an Xbox. If you had games that were unique to Xbox, that should be even more reason for great games. Because the great games define your platform, whether it's console, whether it's cloud, whether it's PC. They basically form your platform. So these games like Minecraft could be played anywhere. A dude on Minecraft on PlayStation could leave today and stop playing Minecraft on Xbox and not miss a beat. But the reason why he would go to Xbox is not to play Minecraft. It was to play the great games that you say you're not going to make and won't do anything. So explain that logic, Phil. Because great games like Horizon, great games like chat, like this super chat right here, Beyond Deception. Going, great games don't sell consoles. Friggin' look at Tears of the Kingdom. 10 million copies sold in the first 3 days. No many people picking up second and third Switches. Great games don't move consoles. Great games don't. You're not selling a console. That's fine. But what about your ecosystem, which is your console is part of? How are they going to go to Game Pass? How are they going to subscribe to Xbox services if games are not bringing people in and you feel like games won't do anything? What are you going to bring them in with? Free updates? Free dollar bill Phil like coupons? Your good looks? Aaron Greenberg retweeting people? Catering food? What are you doing?
Just focused more on great games on our console, that somehow we're going to win the console race, I think doesn't really lay into the reality of.
And who says winning console races, Phil? Here's a great game here. The problem is that you're not even a one and done. Nobody doesn't even want to come and check you out. That's the truth, Phil. You want truth? Nobody cares about you. You are irrelevant. So if you believe making great games don't do anything, I guess what your plan was, and his answer would be, well, we're just gonna go buy already established games. I'm not making great games. I'm just gonna buy games that people know, and that's what we're gonna do. Because that's, I think, what his answer is. Making great games is not going to do anything. But if we buy a game that's known everywhere, that will help us move our service. Dude is corrupt. He has no clue what the hell's going on. And while he's trying to figure it out, they've lost the faith of majority of people. And he's going to have the die-hard ones with the tramp stamp. They're going to try to get their tramp stamp removed. Great games move consoles. Great games move services. Horizon, I mentioned, is in PlayStation Plus. Guess what? If you haven't played Horizon, and I'm showing you Horizon right now, maybe you go sign up for PlayStation Plus because a great game is in there. Ratchet & Clank, graphics, everybody's all hyped up about Ratchet & Clank again 2 years later. Well, probably because it's in a service. So you see, great games move people. You might not sell consoles, but you'll sell subscriptions. You will sell services. You will sell your ecosystem. You will get people ingrained and trusted and invested. People will buy DLCs. People will buy extra missions and things like that. Because they see that you care about providing an incredible experience. I play this game and I see they care about the side missions. They took effort in the side missions there. So guess what? Since they did that, then I'm going to take care and not just skip the side missions. Because they wanted this to be played. So if you care, then I care. But according to Phil, he don't care, then guess what? Not a lot of other people are going to care with you. Because if you come off, you don't care, then nobody cares.
End of the line.
And now, they sit and wait to Starfield. Let them wait. And now, and we'll talk about it probably tomorrow. But this whole, they're already trying to say there's a bias. There's the media now who fluffed up numbers for Halo because they thought Xbox was turning it around just to get no games the next year. And realizing that Redfall is a travesty. Xbox is getting back into mudslinging that they had in the OG, the original Xbox One reveal. Where the media, everybody was just said, you suck. You're trying to make things happen and things are not happening, you suck. And Redfall was the tipping point. And I think Starfield is going to be the next. Starfield's not going to look like this. I'll tell you that right now. But I don't even think Starfield's going to play like this. No problem, RP Gaming, man. No problem. That's right. They're already skipping. Can't even get Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. That's right, Christopher Hazen. Exactly. But Horizon overall needed to be recognized. This game is insane. Story, combat, graphics, immersion. And they took it to the PSVR as well. But that stuff at the end of this DLC, and I'm not spoiling it. Oh, and that's the other point too. That whole thing, what I said on Friday about how Jim Ryan was like 2 to 3 years, because he knows that the PS games move the console, games move their services, and they're not going to have their game everywhere on day one and not have that traffic go to them. That's why they never will do PC Day and 1 with their big games. A multiplayer game that needs people? Maybe. But Horizon 3 is not PC Day 1. No way. That's probably when you're going to get this Horizon on PC. Because this moves people. They know that. They want the traffic. Games sell consoles. And what's crazy, Josh, is that Phil Spencer, clown of clowns, was there with the inception of Xbox. And I'm going to leave you with a tidbit right here, Grinders. Xbox was created on one game. One game created the entire brand.
That was sus.
If it was not for Halo, great games won't change anything. Halo put Xbox on the map when they were a console zero install base. Halo built the whole Xbox brand. The brand was built on one goddamn franchise. It wasn't built on what was it? The Voodoo Vince. It wasn't built on Blinks or wakeboarding. It wasn't built on any of that stuff. Xbox was built on Halo. Great game that created an entire brand. So to see 22 years later, the head of Xbox saying great games are not going to move consoles or shift anything is a bold-faced lie and admit of defeat and shows that he's not fit to do his job, and Xbox sucks because of him. Because Xbox wouldn't even be around if it wasn't for Halo. PS2 was dominating. PS2 dominated. Nintendo dominating. You had zero install base, and one game gave you a chance, gave you a name, gave you years, 20 years later because of one franchise. One game that you can never build upon and destroyed in 2020, 21, whatever the hell you launched it. So for that level of ignorance, you're a clown, you're a fool, and I don't know what you're trying to do right now. That whole Xbox, and for Xbox fans to sit there and listen to that and not just want to say, I'm done with this trash, to still follow him, you're even worse. Because you shouldn't even be an Xbox fan, because you of all people should know what one game did to an entire brand. One game built an entirety of Xbox, Halo, and multiplayer. That's it. And story. Remember, Halo had some story elements to it. It built Master Chief, and Halo built Xbox. So tell me now again, Phil, what did you just say?
I see commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. Just focused more on great games on our console, that somehow we're going to win the console race.
You're not going to win it, but what about all the people that purchased your console? You know, these people.
Build a great
the people you sold the console to
feel like they can have amazing console experiences they've never seen.
What about
before,
these people, Phil?
And that they've got the best
care about
lineup
them?
of content and services of any platform out there. And we're totally focused on that. And I know we have other things going with like coming to PC and xCloud, but I'll say that being a leader in console is something that the team is committed to doing. And
because if you listen to what he said,
just focused more on great games on our console, that somehow we're going to win the console race. I see commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in some dramatic way.
What I ask you, Phil, is what about the current console owners right now? What about the current console owners right now? Don't you believe you should be devout to make them great games. Screw trying to pull people from to sell new consoles. What about the people who bought your console? Remember when Satya was like, we are the market leader 2 years ago, a year ago. What about the people that bought the console? You're not making them great games? So all you clowns on Xbox Demando and Xbox The Ocho and Xbox Era, all you dopes that have a friggin' channel about Xbox, this dope just told you right there, he don't have to make great games for your console. Yeah, maybe it doesn't move consoles, dope. But what about the people that have the consoles and want to play great games? Are you telling them, go somewhere else? We got a console for you? Is that what you're telling them?
Where's the lamb sauce? Ignore Melissa.
Yes, chef.
Is that what you're telling them to leave? Don't stick around on Xbox because we're not going to break great games. I would have changed my goddamn channel name if I heard that clown say that shit about my brand. Coming on a podcast going like this.
Oh, no. We suck again.
Yeah. I don't care what you're posing for, dude. I don't care what you're posing for. I don't care if it's for you're juking and jiving for EUs and regulatory agencies. Those words do not come out of your mouth. And you went on an Xbox podcast and said that shit bully-eyed and bushy-tailed and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and looking right at the camera and saying it from the heart. And that was the ultimate disrespect to all gamers. To say one son of a bitch in this market believes in the console that he's selling that if great games don't move the console. I don't give a shit what realm you live in, you don't say those words. Not on a gaming podcast. Slip it under the rug with the New York Times or MSNBC, but you don't come on a gaming podcast and disrespect gamers like that. So I want you to fail. I want it all to burn while I go play greatness like this. And I want more on Wednesday. I want the stomp out on Wednesday. I want the lights out, end of the line, trash-ass Xbox. I want it done. I want them erased. I want them out. They need a Matrix reset over there. They need a goddamn Thanos snap over at Xbox. Because they are irrelevant. They need to go and rebuild. Starting with great games. So get them out of there. The whole system has to go. Satya, them all, stuttering. Get them all out there. They need a friggin' Thanos reset over there. And I want the stomp out from Sony on Wednesday. I want to show everything that made them hard to be Xbox. I want to see it. Because I want Xbox on the ropes. They're off the ropes right now. They're in the crowd. They're in the parking lot right now. Trying to find their car. Because how dare you come on a gaming show and talk about no great games when I just experienced this. The most epic boss fight I've ever seen. I couldn't believe it wasn't a cutscene. I could not believe the scale, the scope, and what they do. They weren't playing tricks in this Horizon Burning Shores. There were no tricks, man. It was real. It was a full-ass object running all over the place. Real. No cutscenes, no quick time events, nothing. You were fighting this thing. Multiple times and multiple occasions and multiple experiences. Incredible. And that's what I want. And now I tell you, go play it. Get your backlog ready and go play it. And get ready because Wednesday, they're going to bring you more of this. And if you think Spider-Man 2 is going to miss the boat, well, then you better stay on the shore because you are not ready for what Spider-Man 2 is. I don't even need to see Spider-Man 2 to know what they're going to be bringing us. All right? You don't even need to. You don't need to. You go in there with confidence like that. And I want to say, piss me off, Sony. Show me a bunch of indie stuff and let me be underimpressed because then you're going to get some heat. Try to piss me off. It's going to be hard. Pause. But I want them stomped out. I want a showcase of showcases and stomp them out.
You're my number one customer.
I want them to go to their showcase crawling. with Todd Howard, Uber driver, leather jacket, little bitch, coming out there showing Starfield running at 30 frames. I want to see.
You're my number one customer.
Crawling out there with some Game Pass goddamn passion projects. Telling me you're going to have a game showcase. When you just started the whole show saying games don't matter. How the hell are you going to get people to check out your showcase when you just did a podcast saying great games, if we just go make great games? Well, sounds like we just go make great games. It sounds like you ain't making great games. Sounds like you ain't making shit. The Claymore says Phil will be heavily drinking and crying during Sunday Showcase. You bet it is. You know what he's going to do, Claymores? Grinds Adamus right here. Where's the Grinds Adamus? Give me my Grinds Adamus. Where is it? Here it is. Grinds Adamus. Get ready. Phil Spencer will tweet out, "Congratulations, Shoney, on an incredible showcase." Yes, Grinders. Phil Spencer will tweet out, "Congratulations to Shoney on their showcase." The Grindadamas prediction has been said. Phil Spencer will tweet out, "Congratulations, Sony," on their showcase. Liquid Data, said it right time this time, kick them while they're down. That's right. They need to be exposed. They need an awakening. They need to all just like, it needs to go bottom up. They need a Thanos Matrix reset. They need something. They need a snap. Because if he, and again, if he's just saying that for regulatory agencies, then that is just ultimate disrespect. And if he says just go make great games, he'll fix stuff, it's like, well, then you're telling me you're not making great games. Take it on the chin. Yeah, he took it in the chin. But you don't make, it doesn't sound like you have great games lined up. Well, you better show it. But I want them to go in there crawling. And I want to see how they do their showcase. And I want to see them fight back. I want to see, maybe he has a bunch of stuff, but I don't think so. Because you want to know what? If they had something, they'll be talking about it. They will be hyping it up. And he would even talked about during that show. Come on. Every Phil Spencer interview he does, he hypes up the games that has coming. He hasn't hyped up anything that they have in the works. Hellblade, Avowed, Fable, Perfect Dark. In any of his interviews since those games were announced, has he been even promoting those games? Paris had to list them, and he's like, yeah, we'll have updates on a couple of those games. Dude, that's a whole showcase right there Paris had. You should be updating all of them with gameplay. Nah. It's going to be a bunch of what's coming in Game Pass for the next 6 months, because that's more important. Them telling you what's happening in Game Pass for the next year is more important than that. And I swear, if they show games that got carried over from the 12 months of last year, and they put that back in the showcase, dude, nah. And I'm ready for Sony's show, man. Because after I play this and see what they're able to do with Horizon, incredible. And it just reinforced that great games mean a lot. And the last thing, too, just coming back to Horizon after my Phil Ness rant, because I don't know why I clicked on those quotes to get me all wound up. And to believe that came out of that guy's mouth, that he said that stuff, it just like, I just can't believe it. I can't believe that's accepting. That they didn't have that Don Magic was his head chopped off. They wanted his head, but Phil Spencer go around saying stuff like that, and people are still going to go out there excited to see him at FanFest. Yo, Vedja! The Seek 129. Thank you so much, man. He goes, I want Jim Ryan on PlayStation to push a deep dive of Sony State of Play every single month on Factions 2, Stellar Blade, Final Fantasy 16. Just stomp all Xbox executives into their shoes. Let's friggin' compete. Let us go. Let them compete. That's right. Let them say it every single time. Man, thank you.
You're my #1 customer.
Amen to that, Vegeta. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Put him on the ropes, man. Enough. Jim Jarrett says he wants to be recognized. Jim Jarrett says, recognize me. He goes, I want to be heard, he said. Jim Jarrett told us he's ready. He wants to be acknowledged. He's done waiting. He's done talking to the two Utes. He's ready to drop the hammer. I told you, he's ready. He's ready to go, man. Jim Jarrett! Jim Jarrett, everybody! He's ready to go.
Where's the lamb? Roars! Raw! 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 Not even pink, this raw!
And Coop has delivered undercooked salmon.
The three of you are pathetic. You don't care. I care. You're way behind and you haven't got a fucking clue.
You get him, Jim! Jim Jarrett! Get in there!
Happy birthday, Grindhouse. There's no
Why is the birthday song playing?
This is not a
We feel we all know even if we did not want to wait for Bill and Xbox. Now we said just wait for mine. Location look up. Party where you will be signed by Bill and my special favorite fool. Oh yeah.
The two Utes.
To what? What was that word? To what?
What?
Did you say Utes?
Yeah, two Utes.
What is a Ute?
Oh, excuse me, Your Honor. Two youths.
He's getting ready, man. That's what he's gonna be. This is what's happening. This is the green room of Jim Ryan before the showcase on Wednesday, and then this is what he's gonna wear. This is what he's gonna wear in the showcase. He's gonna start the showcase like this, and he's gonna be like,
Enough from me. We're gonna have the games do our talking.
and my 24-inch pythons. He's going for the submission hold. He's gonna smack Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer's gonna be playing that quality flute like this, and he's gonna come over there. Phil's gonna be like this, and then he's gonna come over there and be like, and then Satya's gonna come up to Jim Jarrett.
And so everything that we are doing with our
He's gonna give him a slap. Be like the hot tag. Like the hot tag. It'll be like the hot tag. He'd be in there, just be a smacking around, and Booty will come in, and he'd be like this. Oh, Booty coming in. Jim Jarrett on the ropes. Oh, he's gonna knock them all out. He's gonna knock them all out, Jim Jarrett. That's right.
End of the line.
he's like give a Goldberg spear. I'm telling you, man. Yo, he's like, you disrespected gamers by saying great games don't matter? He's like, you are done.
Enough talk. Into the boat. Into the tunnel. Get to the chopper!
Get ready, grinders. Get ready. But anyway, I'm going to tell you, man, Horizon, play that DLC. I can't believe it's $20. Incredible. And, you know, maybe we'll do the spoiler thing, but you know what? I like the respect that everybody has where we're not. I didn't want to share too many photos or too many things of what happens, but the build-up and the story that they added to that DLC in Horizon, incredible. Great. And I really think that should be celebrated more. I think that game should be referenced more by the industry, by gamers. And I think it needs to be acknowledged more than what it does. Because I think Horizon, and the final point I want to make about Horizon, take down Jim Jarrett. Take down Jim Jarrett. the final point I want to make about Horizon is that the whole thing about the ending. The music at the end, incredible. But they humanized her. And this is sort of emotional stuff with the, the kiss or whatever like that. And again, you choose how to do it, stuff like that. But the fact is that element, she has been stone cold Aloy for the longest time. The first game, like I said, she had a chip on her shoulder. The second game, she cared more, about her friends. She built a kind of like quote unquote Mass Effect headquarters, Mass Effect 2. But the ending of Horizon, when Forbidden West, and the news that she shares, and the emotion that goes into that. Now Aloy has something to fight for. She became human. She's not a clone. She's not a robot. She has something to fight for now. And that's the whole point of this DLC. It feeds into 3 so well because 3 now is going to say, now Aloy has a whole cast of crew people that she really cares about back at the headquarters. She has somebody that she has feelings for. And now Aloy has something to fend, something to fight. And also, I don't going to say anything, but now that tugs on our heartstrings as gamers involved in the story, that if these people happen to die or these people happen to get sacrificed or something happens, now we have an emotional attachment because Aloy has an attachment to them. And don't believe me, just look at Joel. Look at what they did with Joel and Ellie to take that away from you in the second one. What's up, Biggest? How you doing, man? That's how good storytelling goes. You give the character something to fight for because now in the next battle, she might lose somebody. She might lose the one that she loves. She might lose her friends. She might lose people. And that loss is going to make her better and make you even more vengeful, just like what you did with Ellie. And that's how you tell great stories. So that was very important because it humanized her. It made her show emotion. It made her vulnerable because Aloy never really was that. She was really just kind of plain, yeah, I'm just fighting these things. I don't know why, but I have some purpose. And she had this game, the second game, she started with a purpose. Now, in that purpose, she has emotion and characters and people that she cares about. And you want to know what? That feeds right into same thing, God of War. Instead of going there and ripping off heads of everybody, he had people that he cared about. Kratos had people that he cared about, his son. But then his son had people that he cared about. Brock and stuff. So when you do that, when you show emotional attachments, then you pull on the heartstrings and you add character development because now they might have to lose that person. Ellie changed with Joel. Kratos changed with his wife. Like when they like this is what you do. And now Aloy,
you're my number one customer,
has humanity to her. And there's stuff coming. And there's things that she's gonna have to fight for. And there may be loss. And that loss will affect you as the gamer. You and your experience. The Claymores with the 5, he goes, good storytelling is finding out your pilot's name. Exactly. They never made Chief have a connection with bootleg Joel. He tried to sit there once, and it was so fake and forced. It was like, yeah, well, I was never a pilot, and I did this. Well, you're a pilot to me. And the guy's like, okay, where do you want to go, Chief? And it was like so weird. It was so lame. It was just a way to get this dude to fly you around. Meanwhile, he saved him. Chief would have been floating in space. Never thanked him. Never cared about that guy. He just like, I got a mission. The dude saved you. You were floating in space, Chief. You were dead. The guy saved you, and you don't even acknowledge him, bootleg Joel, to ask his name, and you're just like, I got a mission. Well, you're dumb, Chief, because guess what? That was bad storytelling, because Chief was showing more humanity with his love for Katana as we got more into those Halo games. And to make him go back to being robotic Chief in Halo Infinite was bad storytelling. Because he was humanized. He was becoming more human because of his affection to Katana. And it hurt him that she went rampant. That killed the whole storyline. They killed it all. They killed everything on Microsoft. That's why they suck so much. They destroyed everything. They destroyed everything. The whole storytelling, everything.
Oh, no! We suck again!
They've ruined everything. He was becoming more human. He went right back to Robot Chief. Didn't ask the guy. The guy saved his ass. Crazy. But now they're humanizing Aloy. They're making her have a tie to this world. Because guess what? She could be like, hey, I'm leaving too. Woo, I'm out of here. No. Now she got people she cares for and she has to defend and fight and hold the line, she said. No, she didn't say that. But that's what she got to do. And that will be in the next Horizons. And we'll see. If they need to do a multiplayer, maybe they'll do it. Yep, sorry. Sorry, Damasi, but yes. Suck again. But, hey, I want to end this. I want to thank everybody for coming through on today's Sunday. Over 200 people came on an ad hoc video. Thank you so much for all the support you do. And super chats, VIPs, chatting with me in the Grindhouse chat room. Keep it locked here. Gaming Grindhouse tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. We'll be talking about some things that I grabbed here about reviews things, talking about Starfield, and we'll see what happens in the news. And but I definitely wanted to just talk about this great game and acknowledge it and definitely give it a shot and play it. It's worth every single penny. And if you get it for subscriptions, that you're robbing it because it's incredible. The quality and everything, it's great. And again, you may not love it, but I'm just telling you, from my experiences, it was actually incredible. And the end of that DLC was one of those spectacular moments. I'm like, wow. And I can't wait to see what they got next. So Wednesday's going to be awesome. So hit that like button, grinders. Share it out. Thank you again. And with that, we'll play Kratos 99. If he's not here, he'll hear it anyway. But the Kratos Xbox Game Pass, that's their showcase. But we got quality coming on Wednesday. Let's go.